Japan, meanwhile, is counting down to one of the biggest and greatest sporting events in the world. I'm talking about the Olympics. The Games have rarely been cancelled or postponed in their history. Since 1896, the Olympics have been cancelled only 6 times. Last year, the pandemic forced Japan to postpone the Games. The Olympic torch was doused even before it could be lit. But as cases spike in Japan and public sentiments remain against the Games, are the Olympics heading for a record 7th cancellation?
Fake cheers, empty seats, and the growing sound of pounding feet. Welcome to the Wuhan virus era Olympics, one that Japan seems determined to hold at any and every cost. This is Tokyo's Showcase National Stadium, the front and center of Sunday's test event. The event brought home the reality of hosting a pandemic-era Olympics. Recorded noises reaching a crescendo as runners approached the finish line. But there was more noise outside the stadium. Over 100 protesters chanted and marched, calling for the Olympics to be cancelled.
No Olympics! No Olympics anywhere!
A poll found that nearly 60% of Japanese respondents want them to be scrapped, less than 3 months before the Games are due to open. While the public sentiment remains firm, mixed messages are pouring in from all sides. The International Olympic Committee, or the IOC, and the government of Japan cannot seem to decide on who is ultimately responsible for deciding the fate of the Games. Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga has always maintained that the Games will go on. But when the public opinion shifted, so did the Prime Minister's stance. He now says that the IOC has the final say, insisting that he has never put the Olympics first.
I've never put the Olympics first. My priority has been to protect the lives and health of the Japanese population. Let me address that clearly. In terms of the Olympic and Paralympic Games, it is important that we must first prevent the spread of the virus. The IOC has already made a decision to hold the Games and notified countries as such.
The organizers have so far remained unmoved. While the public sentiment remains a concern, the IOC says that the Games will go ahead as planned.
At the moment the Games will go ahead. There's no need for us to be hypothetical. We spent the first half of last year identifying all the worst case scenarios. We spent the next 6 months through to now looking at the countermeasures that are necessary. We're implementing those countermeasures. You've read the playbook.
Japan is witnessing a surge in infections. The Wuhan virus is taxing Japan's healthcare system. With only 2% of the country's population vaccinated, hospital beds are running out across the country. And a slow vaccine rollout has frustrated the population. Since winning the bid to host the Games in 2013, Japan has spent billions to get infrastructure ready. The cost for the Games has soared to a record $15.4 billion, up by almost $3 billion in the last year alone. If the Games are cancelled again, the losses will be staggering. With just 10 weeks to go, the countdown has already begun. The Olympic torch is travelling across Japan. Test events are taking place in stadiums, and athletes are taking their jabs. The IOC says that the Games are a beacon of hope. But will it be hope at a deadly cost? Bureau Report, WION World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.